This is the April 17th Town Hall regarding the Home Rule Charter for McLendon-Chisholm. We are now going to call to order. It is currently 6:37, and this is being broadcast for your perusal online. Today we are going to be talking about the Home Rule Charter and what it means. What is a Home Rule Charter? A Home Rule Charter is the city's fundamental law of the city. Its relationship to the city is similar to the Constitution and the laws of the state. It is only available to the cities with a population greater than 5,000. Why create a charter? A general law city is limited to what only is allowed by state law, while a home rule city can address local matters that the state legislature has not addressed. A general law city cannot have a charter. A home rule city acts in a way that is authorized by its charter and not prohibited by state or federal law. The scope of city government is controlled by our charter and determined by you, the community. What are the advantages of having a home rule charter? Citizens determine the form, power, and authority of the governance that they want from their city. The ability to bring initiatives, petitions on specific issues to the city council, referendums to reverse a council action, and the ability to recall elected officials are exclusive remedies to local voters of home rule cities. Home rule cities have flexibility to address complex issues that develop in a growing community with broad regulatory authority rather than having to wait on the state legislature to act. Citizens retain control of their approved charter through the amendment process. This ensures their government is still relevant to what they want. What was the process to creating a charter for our city? The Home Rule Commission had 14 people preside and attend meetings. What was the process to creating a charter for our city? On July 9th, 2024, City Council passed a resolution recognizing the population of the city to be an estimated 6,588. Currently, that number is now beyond 7,000. So you will see that the growth in a short time has been pretty high. August 13th, 2024, City Council passed a resolution 2024-12 establishing a Home Rule Commission. The commission was charged with drafting a proposed city charter to be submitted to the voters with a proposed election date of May 3rd, 2025. Commission meetings began August 15th, 2024, and were held through January 23rd, 2025. You will note that that is only 2 days between the original resolution and when we started meeting. 2 days difference. The commission presented the final charter to the city on January 28th, 2025, and City Council voted to put it on the ballot for voter consideration for the May 3rd, 2025 elections. Meetings were public, recorded, and conformed to the Texas Open Meetings Act. The public could comment at any of these meetings, and a submission page on the city website was established to forward any questions, ideas, and concerns. The commission used several resources for creating this charter: Blodgett's Home Rule Charter Book, city charters from the city of Heath, Fate, Rockwall, Sunnyvale, Roy City, Wolfworth, Crum, Amarillo, Trophy Club, and Liberty Hill were reviewed. City attorney input was provided and reviewed. Citizens did provide for suggestions, and individual commissioners did their own research on particular topics. The charter has 15 sections and is 43 pages. It mostly draws from the charters of Heath, Roy City, Sunnyvale, Liberty Hill, and Wolfworth. What are the highlights of this charter? The form of government. Council manager form of government was selected with the city manager administering the city's day-to-day affairs. Mayor and council have no regular administrative duties and do not direct staff below the city manager. General powers and duties of the city council include appoint and remove the city manager, city secretary, city attorney, and municipal judge. Establish and dissolve administrative departments and adopt a budget. individually initiate and place items on the agenda for consideration, fix and regulate rates and charges of all utilities and public services defined in the charter. An additional at-large council seat is established for a total of 6 council members plus the mayor. Council member and mayor terms are increased to 3-year terms. Term limits are now being provided for council members that are 3 consecutive terms. Unless serving as a mayor, then it will be a 4 consecutive terms. Mayor and council members serve without compensation. The charter calls for the creation of a code of ethics within 180 days of the charter approval, with specific areas to be addressed. Council is required to consult with the city attorney prior to deciding litigation or legal matters. The mayor can vote on all matters. What are the highlights of the charter? Well, the city manager. Residency is not required upon appointment, but given a reasonable amount of time determined by council, shall reside in city limits. Powers and duties are specified in the charter. Administrative departments established by charter and ordinance shall be under control and direction of the city manager. The city manager must submit an annual budget no later than 60 days prior to the end of the current fiscal year. Commissions and boards, Planning and Zoning Board, Planning and Zoning, Board of Adjustment, and a Parks Board are specified in this charter. The Park Board is not required to be created. Other boards can be created as needed by council. Planning and Zoning has 7 members plus 2 alternates with 2-year staggered terms. A 2/3 vote by City Council to overrule P&Z is required. A comprehensive plan to be reviewed every 5 years. Board and Adjustment has 5 regular members plus 3 alternates and with 2-year staggered terms. Board commission term limits, which is new, are 3 consecutive terms. What are the highlights of the charter? Well, there's an initiative, referendum, and recall. Procedures are detailed for initiatives, referendums, and recall petitions. 30% of the voters of the last regular city election, or 300 voters, whichever is greater, can petition to propose an ordinance that voters approve or reject an ordinance, or to have voters approve or disapprove a recall of an elected official. Petitions to recall cannot be filed within 60 days when a person takes office, or within 3 months after an election of their recall, or within 6 months of the end of their term. General and transitional provisions. Conflicts of interest by city officials is addressed. Nepotism rules and procedures. Charter amendments may be submitted by the city council to the qualified voters of the city for their approval no more than every 3 years. Council Place 6 will be appointed upon approval of the charter. 3-year terms will commence in regular elections for places 2, 4, and the mayor in 2026. 3-year terms will commence in regular elections for places 1 and 3 in 27. 3-year terms will commence in regular elections for places 5 and 6 in 2028. Places 5 and 6 will have elections for short terms prior to 2028. In review, what you will see is an increase in representation on the council, a defined role of the council and city administration, term limits for council, boards, and commissions. Citizens will have the power to initiate a petition for the passage of an ordinance to change or remove an ordinance by referendum and to recall an elected official. A 2/3 is required by council to overturn a planning and zoning decision. City council is required to get legal advice from the city attorney on a legal matter. Flexibility to address local issues in the community that the state legislature has not specifically allowed a general law city to act on. An ability for citizens to amend the charter to address changing needs of our community. In summary, the proposed charters of the city's constitution derive from the work of fellow citizens who recognize the importance of having a governmental structure that is accountable, transparent, and accessible to you, the community it serves. A home rule city is about having local input and flexibility to deal with the challenges to come as our city grows in a manner we choose, and is not constrained by state-imposed limitations of a general law city. This is an important moment for our community, and you will have the opportunity to have your say on our future at the upcoming election, May 3rd, 2025. Early vote starts on April 22nd. Thank you for tuning in today, and have a blessed day.